Welcome to A-Level and AP Physics. In today's lesson, we will discuss past paper questions on mechanics from May-June 2022, paper 2, variant 2. This is the latest paper and this is based on new syllabus. In this paper, you will see few changes. In the last year papers, you will see data on one page and formulae for AS and A2 physics on another page. But in this new syllabus and this year papers, you will see data and formulae only for AS physics on one page. So this is kind of subtle change in this paper from 2022. In today's class, we will discuss two main questions from mechanics, and these questions are from measurements, forces, work and energy. So pause the video before you watch the solution. Do question first by yourself and then come back to video and check the solution and compare solution with my solution. This is the best way you can get the maximum benefit from these videos. You need to understand physics is not just for memorizing. You can never improve your concept of physics just by memorizing. What you need to do for physics is to improve your conceptual understanding, because every question in physics is different and it is only based on your conceptual understanding. It's like a tool. If you have tool but you don't know how to use that, you will never be a good technician. In physics, if you memorize concepts but you don't know how to use them, you can never be good at physics. So always try to understand concepts, not just try to memorize. Understanding is most important in physics. In today's class, we are talking about May-June 2022 exam paper, and the total time for this paper is 1 hour and 15 minutes. You need to answer all questions on this paper, and total mark for this paper is 60. On second page of exam paper, you can find values of some constants, and these constants are very important. Maybe you will need some of them for some calculations in your exam. So if you need value of any constant, you can come to this page and you can find value of required constant, means the constant you need. At AS level and also at A2 level, you have to use G is equal to 9.81. You cannot use G is equal to 10. So very important point, you need to be very clear about this one. So you need to use G is equal to 9.81, not G is equal to 10 meters per second per second. This one was okay at IGCSE level, but at AS level, you have to use 9.81. On the second page of exam paper, you can also find some important formulae. 7 formulae are given to you for AS physics. So this one is 1, this is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5, 6 and 7. Means you have formulae about 7 different concepts. The first one is about accelerated motion. If acceleration is constant, means when acceleration is uniform. So these two formulae you can only use if A is constant. A is constant means that value of A is not changing with time, or simply you can understand value of A is just one value and that value is not changing with time. And the second one is about hydrostatic pressure, and in this formula you need to understand rho. Rho is density of fluid. Very important. In some questions they will try to confuse with this density, so you need to understand this is density of fluid, not density of any solid object. And this delta H is not height, this is the depth, means distance from the surface to the object. So this one is depth. Upthrust, this is a new formula. This was not in 2021. So in the formula list, you don't see this formula in 2021. So this one is the new one. So this is also given to you, formula for upthrust. In this formula, rho is, this is density of fluid. In this formula, rho is density of fluid. You need to understand what is V in this form. V is volume of fluid displaced. Volume of fluid. Fluid can be liquid, it can be gas. Volume of fluid displaced. At AS level, most of the time, this is volume of liquid displaced, but this also can be volume of gas displaced. So we say volume of fluid displaced. The second, this formula, this is about Doppler effect. You need to understand when to use plus, when to use minus. So for this formula, if the source is approaching, then you can calculate observed frequency. So we can write down F naught, that will be equal to V over, mean the speed of the wave, over V minus Vs times frequency of the source. In this case, F observed has to be greater than frequency of the source. So that's the reason this denominator, this has to be smaller. So we have the minus sign. And if the source is moving away, so let me write down here, because clear understanding of these points is very important. When the source is moving away, observed frequency will be equal to speed of the wave in medium over speed of the wave minus speed of the source. But in this case, this has to be plus. The reason when the source is moving away, the reason is that observed frequency has to be smaller, mean the observed frequency will be smaller than frequency of the source, mean the frequency of the sound produced by source. And this is when the source is moving with constant speed. So then F naught is equal to V over V plus Vs. If the source is accelerating, situation will be different. That one we will discuss later. If we go to next question, this is called transport equation. Very important one in electricity topic, transport equation. So this is transport equation. And these two formulae we can use for resistors. Resistors in series and resistors in parallel. So it's very important if you have clear understanding of these formulas. And rest of the formulae, you need to be able to derive them, or you need to remember them, and you need to practice them so you know how to use them as well. Here is question number 1. Before you answer this question, I want you to promise to yourself you will not memorize physics. You will try to understand physics. If you will develop this habit, then you will see physics is fun. You solve problems, you will be a problem solver, and you will be explorer of universe secrets. So if you really want to be a problem solver and you want to make the life of human being easier, or you need to serve human beings in any way, the best way, the only way is to understand the secrets of universe. Means try to understand the principles of universe. And physics is science that help you to explore secrets of universe. So study to understand, not to memorize. And if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, you can leave in comments and I will answer as soon as possible. And I will try to clear your doubts as much as possible. Let's do question number 1 now. For question number 1, part A, it is given to us in the following list, underline all units that are SI base units. So you need to understand there are 7 SI base units and 7 SI base quantities. SI means System International. So if you look at the first one, ampere, this is SI base unit because this one is unit of current and current is SI base quantity. Degrees Celsius, this is not SI base unit. Kelvin is SI base unit. So this is not SI base unit. Kilogram, this is SI base unit because this is unit of mass. So this is SI base unit. Newton, this is not SI base unit. This is unit of force. And force is not SI base quantity. So the answer for this question is simply you need to write on ampere. You need to underline. I mean you can draw the line here and you can draw the line here. If you draw these two lines, you will get 1 mark and that is the mark. For part B, it is given to us figure 1.1 shows a horizontal beam clamped at one end with a block attached to the other end. So in this case, simply you can see we have this block, it means we have this beam. So it is clamped at one end and the block is placed at the other end. It is given to us the block is made to oscillate vertically. So when we displace this block, this will oscillate up and down, vertically up and down. Young's modulus of the material of the beam is given. So this is how you can calculate Young's modulus. In this case, it is given to us m is the mass, t is the period of oscillations, and k is a constant. And table is also given to us. In this table, you can see we have quantity and the percentage uncertainties are given. The student uses the value of km and t to calculate value of e, and value of e is also given to us. We will need this value later. For part B1, we need to calculate the percentage uncertainty in the value of E. E is given to us. E is equal to Km over T square. If you look at quantities, these quantities are multiplied and divided. So when quantities are multiplied and divided, then we have to add the percentage uncertainty. So in this case, we have this is delta E by E. Percentage uncertainty. So we can write on percentage uncertainty in E. This one has to be equal to percentage uncertainty in K. So this is how you can write on percentage uncertainty in K and percentage uncertainty in M. Percentage uncertainty plus we have to multiply with to the percentage uncertainty of time period, because time period has power 2. So that's the reason we have to multiply this one by 2. Now simply we need to plug in values. We have percentage uncertainty in K, that is equal to 2.1%, and percentage uncertainty in M, that is equal to 0.6%, and percentage uncertainty in time is 1.5%. So this is 1.5%. So simply we can write down in our proper way. So this is 1.5%. Let me write down here. So this is 1.5%. If we add all of them, our final answer should be 5.7%. So the answer for this question is 5.7. So let me double check this one. Is it right or not? Let me use calculator. So simply you can see I have already calculated here. So this is equal to 5.7. So our final answer is correct. So 5.7 is the right answer. This question has 2 marks. The first mark you will get if you have written these percentages, means you have added them. You will get C mark, and the second mark you will get if you have got the right answer. So this is the second mark. If you have got the right answer, you will get 2 marks. But if the answer is wrong, you have written this step, you will get 1 mark. For the second part, we need to use our answer from D1 to determine the value of E with its absolute uncertainty to an appropriate number of significant figures. So very important one. So you need to take care of significant figures in this question. If you will not take care of significant figures, you will lose 1 mark. So let's try to understand how we can answer this question. In part B1, we have calculated delta E by E. The percentage uncertainty we have calculated, that one was equal to 5.7%. So this is the percentage uncertainty. Now we need to understand how we can convert percentage uncertainty into fractional uncertainty and vice versa. So let me write down here first of all fractional uncertainty and percentage uncertainty. So how we can convert fractional into percentage and percentage into fractional. Percentage uncertainty. So let me write down here. So we have percentage uncertainty. If you want to convert percentage uncertainty into fractional uncertainty, you have to divide by 100. So simply I will say you have to divide by 100. But if you want to convert fractional uncertainty into percentage uncertainty, you have to multiply by 100. Now in this case, we have percentage uncertainty. We want to convert this one into fractional uncertainty. So we have to divide this one by 100. So simply we will write down here 5.7 divided by 100. So this is what you need to write down. We need to calculate delta E. Delta E is absolute uncertainty. In order to calculate delta E, simply we can write down this is 5.7 divided by 100 times E. So we can write down E here. Value of E we have. So we can write down 5.7 divided by 100 multiplied by value of E. Value of E is given in question. So simply we can write down 8.245 times 10 to 9. Now, if we solve this one for delta E, means for absolute uncertainty of E, you will get 0.47 times 10 to 9. We need to understand at AS level, absolute uncertainty has to be written up to one decimal place only. So we can write down this one 0.5 times 10 to 9. So this is absolute uncertainty. So let me write down here. This one is absolute uncertainty. So simply this is absolute uncertainty of E. So this is absolute uncertainty. Now we can write down absolute uncertainty and we can write down Young's modulus. So the absolute uncertainty is 0.5. Now you need to understand. So let me rewrite one point here. This one has to be up to 1 dp only. So this is the point you need to understand. This is the main point you need to understand. Now this is given to you up to 3 decimal places. Now we need to understand absolute uncertainty and the measurement. They must have same number of decimal places. So we can write down this is 8.2. So these two quantities mean absolute uncertainty and measurement. They should have same dp. So they should have same dp's. That's all. So if you write down your answer like this, you will get 2 marks. 1 mark you will get if you have calculated delta E. So this one is C mark. And the second mark is answer mark. If you have written answer in this form, you will get the second mark. But if your answer is right, you will get 2 marks. But if your answer is wrong, you have written this step, you will get 1 mark. So always write down steps.